Fact of the day, bucking issues, back issues. Stay tuned. Now, a few days ago, I posted a video on my TikTok. Whether I should have made the video or not, I don't know. But pretty much, I was talking about bucking. A horse does not buck for no reason, and I stand by that. You can argue all you want. A horse does not buck for no reason. Every horse I ever had that came to me as a bucker left as not a bucker, or at least never bucked for me. And every time it was pain or rider error. A horse does not buck for no reason. Now, a green horse, you're going to have a little bit of a difference there because they don't know what a saddle means. They don't know what this or that means. Green horses will buck sometimes. But if you have a finished horse that's never had a bucking issue and a bucking issue appears, which I've seen dozens of times, pain, training, something went wrong and you cannot blame the horse. But people do that. And so I made a video discussing that, and I got a lot of comments from people like, well, my horse is just spicy, and I think it gives a little bit of personality. And, sweetie, your horse is just blown up. There has only been one horse I've seen consistently buck and then not be in pain, and I believe that is Bailey Schultz's horse, Boozer? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I believe that horse bucks consistently, and I would heavily doubt that the horse is in pain because these guys have way more experience than I ever will training horses. You know it's not a training error. That is the one horse where I'm like, I don't think that's pain, but that's a little weird. And so that's where I'm like, I kind of want a case study on that specific horse to try and figure out like what is making it buck. Is it the excitement? And even still, that's more of not a bronc or a little kick up from being young. You definitely have to look into stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, I find that horses buck from pain or training error. And I have very rarely seen a horse buck just because they're a little spicy. And I think you at least need to look at all your options before jumping to, oh, it's just spiciness. Anyways, this leads to the actual fact of the day rather than an argument or a discussion. Because you cannot make a claim without evidence. And I was studying my book, and this is Understanding the Horse's Back by Sarah Weech. Now, I am a certified massage therapist, but only for the past few months. This book was recommended to me by someone who has done it all their life, and it's got to be a bestseller. They do, unfortunately, no longer sell this book, but this is filled with so much good information, so much already proved information from vets, massage therapists, chiropractors. All of this is proved by other people, and it is pretty much all the information in one. And so on page 65, which I don't know what chapter it is number-wise, but it's on the diagnosis and therapy chapter. I'm going to read a little section, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So here we go. And I'm not going to read this whole page. I highly recommend you guys go check out this book if you want to work with horses, train horses, even ride horses. So, if you touch a horse somewhere and he kicks you or makes a face or threatens in any way, unless it is a particularly ticklish area, most horse people would assume the horse is in pain. However, when it comes to back pain, there are an awful lot of misconceptions, and therefore expressions of pain can go unheeded until the horse develops a severe behavioral problem or loss of coordination. If you or I experience a shooting pain in the back, our typical reaction is to stand absolutely still and usually to clutch at the bit that hurts. Side note, I do it all the time. Back pain is not for the weak. This signals to other people not to come anywhere near because we are especially vulnerable in such a condition. The body gives out very clear warnings in order to protect the integrity of the spinal cord. What can the horse do? He can stand still or he can run away. Now, this is the important part. On the one hand, he gets accused of napping on the job. On the other, he is described as bolting. Sound familiar? A difficult horse. If the incidents of pain recur and he makes any response at all, he is labeled as difficult. Let me reread that. If the incidents of pain recur and he makes any response at all, he is labeled as difficult. Does that sound familiar? There are horses that lay their ears back, roll their eyes, and swish their tails whenever the rider walks into the stable carrying a saddle, and yet it never occurs to the person that the horse might be trying to express pain, or at least the anticipation of pain, or that this might have anything to do with the horse's back. So, to sum that all up, listen to the signs, people. If your horse is bucking consistently or showing signs of pain consistently, I suggest at the very minimum palpating the back, palpating the whole body, because not all the time it's just in the back. You might have an issue in the shoulders, the hips, the neck, the poll. I know for my mare, the poll caused some severe signs of pain, and I was a beginner at the time, so it took me some time to pick up on it. And then I called the chiropractor out, and we realized, oh my gosh, she wasn't biting me because she was spicy, like I kept telling people. It was because she was hurting, and this was about 7 years ago when I was first getting into horses. A horse does not act up for no reason. Horses do not want to act up for no reason. Horses are made with the purpose, not really to serve us, but to work with us, alongside us. They pulled our buggies, we sat on their backs, we gave an apple, some love, some attention. It's a teamwork. And if you cannot team up with your horse and give them the respect they deserve, why do you have a horse? If your horse is bucking almost every ride, feeling a little bronchi today, look into a massage therapist, a chiropractor. Learn it yourself. Palpate the back. I know before I even get on Rocket, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to palpate his back, make sure he feels good. And if it isn't quite perfect, if it's a little bit something minor, I might spend a few minutes massaging his back before I tack up. I might tape his back. I might red light his back, because I want my horse to feel good. If they're going to do something for me, they're doing it for me. So I need to give them the respect they deserve and make sure they feel 100%. Now, I'm not saying that everything is 100% pain or training related, but in my opinion, I have yet to meet a bucker that bucked for no reason. I don't think you should go straight to spiciness. You need to rule out, get a vet check, get a massage check, and even if 10 vets say it's not pain, there might be one vet that finds something that the other vets didn't, because I've seen that happen quite a bit too. And that's why it's good to look at all your routes, because really, the horse is going to tell you if something's wrong. However, that also means you have to know your horse. However, there are some pretty crazy people out there that think, oh, I know my horse is just being spicy, and then it's walking around like you just touch their back and the whole thing's twitch and mess and they're pinning their ears at you. This is why we look into these things and don't go straight to spiciness or difficult horse, or, oh, he's just feeling a little bronchi today, which I'm never going to get over that line. Horses don't buck for no reason. Anyways, if you want to set up a massage, message me. Fact of the day.